Hello, everybody, and welcome to Library.com. My name is Nelson, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the book that I just finished reading titled Raising Men by U.S. Navy SEAL Eric Davis. So, let's get to it. Alright, guys, if you're a dad, you really need to get your hands on this book and read it like yesterday. Look, the basics of this book, it's hard-covered. Put it in your bathroom if you have to and read it when you go in there to meditate. I didn't do that. But like I said, you really have to get your hands on this book. It's not that long. 11 chapters, 244 pages. That's not a lot to read. And Eric Davis does a great job on writing this book that me as a man, as a guy, from the minute I started reading chapter 1 and he goes through and starts writing out his Navy SEAL training, I'm like, yeah, I want to be there. I wish I was there with you right now. You're just hooked on it. Chapter 1, you finish it, you want to go on to chapter 2 because you're anxious to see what experience he's going to put you through during his Navy SEAL training, right? I mean, don't we all dream of being a Navy SEAL? Being a bad expletive Navy SEAL and being able to do anything? Because I mean, to put it in perspective, when you meet somebody and they introduce themselves as a Navy SEAL, you're like, wow, tell me more about you. He does a great job about explaining and making you relive his training days as a Navy SEAL. Going through everything that he went through in Bud's training, you sort of feel like you're his battle bud going through it. And he uses a lot of his experience, a lot of his training, and he makes a very good transition from training to fatherhood and dealing with certain situations that us as parents, us as dads, we deal with our kids in different ways. But he does a great job of, merging the two and using training and techniques that he's learned in the Navy SEAL program on how to deal with his kids. The Navy SEALs is not an easy program to get through. I believe that there's an attrition rate of 70% from the last I heard. So out of 100 people, 70 people quit because it's just too hard. Fatherhood is not easy. And from the last I heard, there's a 70% attrition rate in fathers, meaning that there's so many sons out there who don't have a father. And it's sad to hear that because me as a dad raising my 2 kids, I have 2 younger kids who are 10 and 8. And the thought of leaving them, it doesn't even cross my mind. That would take you from being a man to being, it just eliminates you as somebody who that kid should look up to. Raising Men is such an easy read, guys, that you read it and instantly, when you're done with chapter 1, you automatically start making adjustments into dealing with your kids, dealing with your son, never letting an opportunity for you to bond with them slip on by. There are many times where I've come home from work super tired and my son has come up to me and say, Dad, would you like to go outside and play basketball for a little bit? And my answer to them would be, not today, maybe tomorrow. It's such a long day at work, I'm tired. I just want to lay down, sleep. And those are missed opportunities I'm not going to get back. And in reading this book, he takes you to when Navy SEALs train, right? And they're supposed to run to a certain area and run back. If they're the last person to do it and they're complaining that they have no more energy, they pull them out of the successful group and they put them into another group where they make them run even more. They make them run sand dunes to the ocean. They make them jump in the water. They make them come out. They make them lift these 90-pound logs above their head. for an hour or so for a set amount of time, and then they throw them back into the other group, and they continue doing that for hours. And what that has taught me is, if you're tired and you're not willing to give that little bit of extra energy, activity to spend time with your kids just because you think you're tired, you know, you're just giving up. There's so much more that you can give if you just don't think about it. You know, if you think that you're tired, obviously you're gonna feel tired. And Eric does a great job about giving you lessons, giving you ways of changing your mindset, you know, how you see things and how you should think positive about things. You know, there's a chapter in here, I believe it's called chapter 6. I believe the chapter is chapter 6. And the title of that chapter is Mind Over Matter. If you don't mind, then it doesn't matter. If you don't mind that you're tired, then it doesn't matter that you're tired. You're gonna find that extra reserve of energy to go out there and have activities with your kids. You know, there's many examples in here, parents who come home, sit at their computer, do whatever it is that they're doing, and their kid would come in and say, "Dad, let's go out, go for a walk, go for a hike, let's go do something." And the dad would not do it. Like I said, those are missed opportunities. Those are chances where you can get out with your kid, you know, challenge them, have them fail. You know, kids are resilient in that if you're playing football, if you're playing basketball with your kids, I use basketball because my kids love basketball. And I'll share a story about my oldest son who tried out for his basketball team. But kids love failing because they're always hungry to come back at you harder, and soon they'll beat you. When I play basketball with my kids, I don't let them beat me. I don't let my older son beat me because I want him to work extra harder the next time we play for the chance that he'll beat me. Because I know one day when we play basketball, he's gonna beat me day after day. So I'm enjoying these days when I can beat him. And you know, this book does a great job about describing how doing that with your kids in a constructive fashion teaches them that it's okay to be challenged and to rise above those challenges, find different ways to solve that problem. There's not just one road that goes from point A to B. There are many different ways you can get from point A to B if you just open your mind and face that challenge. You know, the straight line isn't always the best way to go. Sometimes you'll have to go this way first, come back over here, maybe go up here and get here, but at the end, you end up in the same place. And even though he had to go this way to get there, he managed to get there. He didn't quit. And that's what raising men is. Raising your children to be men means that we give them the necessary tools to face challenges, find different ways to solve issues, so that when they're adults, they're gonna have a lot more respect, a lot more confidence in themselves to be able to face anything and to succeed at it. It really does give me new insight into, like I said, how I work with my kids and how I deal with my kids. I just finished reading this book a couple days ago, and you know, every day that I wake up, you know, obviously I don't get to see my kids when I wake up, but when I get home, I always ask them how their day was. I always ask them if they set a goal for themselves for that day, and if they met that goal, and if they didn't, why didn't they meet that goal? What can they do differently to meet that goal? About a year ago, he's 10 years old, about a year ago, he tried out for his school's basketball team. And he hadn't had any formal lessons or anything. He hadn't had any formal training. He had just been in our backyard shooting baskets, and he thought he was good enough to make the team. So he showed up on tryout day. He tried out, he made a basket or two, and the next day when they released the roster, his name wasn't on there. It's sad when your child fails at something. My child was heartbroken. He was very sad. I mean, he cried for a few days. He didn't even touch the basketball for a few days. But he told me that he really wanted to make the team. He started watching a bunch of basketball games. We gave him the option of going and getting training, which he took. We put him in the recreational basketball league, and he learned lots of skills. He interacted with different people. He learned how to dribble the ball better. He learned how to shoot better. And ever since then, every day he's been working harder and harder and harder. And a few days ago, they had basketball tryouts for the school again. And he tried out, and he told me, "Dad, I'm going to make this team. Watch, I will make it." So we went there, we watched him. Me and my wife went, we watched him try out. He made more baskets this time than he did the last time. And at the end of his tryout, I told him, I said, "I'm very happy that you came here. You showed up and you did something that you had previously failed on." Most other kids, if they fail at something, they don't want to even try it again. But I told my son, "I'm very proud of you for having failed at something, shown up the next time, and faced that challenge again of possibly failing." But his mindset was, "I'm going to make that team." And sure enough, the next day when he went back to school, they had a piece of paper on the office window with about 13 students, and his name was one of the 13. And hearing his excitement that he made the team, kind of puts everything that we do as parents into perspective. It's our jobs to keep pushing our children to be better than who they were yesterday. As a guy, as a dad, sometimes we watch action movies, and after it, we kind of emulate who the hero was. The hero in this book is Eric Davis, because, like I said earlier, the way he puts you into his shoes in walking and going through SEAL training, experiencing that in a different kind of way other than firsthand, it gives you energy. It changes your mindset. And he has a chapter in here about how your mindset really changes how you walk in life and how you deal with people in life, how you carry yourself and how other people carry yourself. Mindset is a very important thing. This is such a great book. Like I said, if you're a dad, you need to have this book 2 days ago, and you should be halfway reading through it. I highly recommend that you get that book. Eric, if you're watching this, I thank you for writing this book, because not only have you changed me as a dad, but you've changed me as a human being, as a man. You made me go from being not that good of a man, if that makes sense, to being a confident man. And in essence, you did raise me to be a man just by reading your book. And I think that those who get their hands on your book and read it are going to feel transformed from who they were at the beginning of the book to who they're going to be by using the lessons that you showed us that you had learned from your Navy SEAL training. I personally want to thank you again for writing this book, and I want to thank you for dedicating your time, sacrificing your time with your family, becoming a Navy SEAL, and helping to protect our freedom. So again, those are my thoughts, and my thoughts only on the book. If you've stuck around for this video, please give the thumbs up, click the like button, give the thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to release a video once a week for the books that I read. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Hit the subscribe button. If you've read this book and your life has changed, leave a little comment down below and let me know your thoughts on that book. If you have other suggestions for books, please put them down in the comments, as I love to get suggestions for books and I love to read books. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk again soon.